We're here on the Aussie highway about 15 kilometres outside of Walcha. Walcha has the misfortune of finding itself right in the middle of a renewable energy zone. That's a circle they draw on the whiteboard back there in Macquarie Street and decide that this is where they're going to put renewable energy. Well, as we know, as we've seen elsewhere in the country, renewable energy is far from clean and green when you see it up close. It's a heavy industrial process. Behind me here, this is the area close to where they're going to be putting the Winterborn wind farm, as they call it, or Winterborn turbine development, as I prefer to call it. 119 turbines, 6.2 megawatts each one requiring about 300 tonnes of concrete in its base. You are talking about a mega industrial project here, and this is what the people of Walcha have been fighting.
Now we're at the edge of your beautiful property here. It's a lovely spot to have a cup of tea and a sandwich, but you're going to get the grandstand view here of the Winterborn wind turbine project if it goes ahead, right? You'll be very close to it.
Very close. Way too close.
I mean, these pictures, these are their official pictures.
Mm. Yep.
And that's that hill there, right?
Yes, it is.
And there's 2 turbines there.
Yes.
Right on the top.
Yes.
200 odd metres tall. And then I think this carries on around like that. Ooh, blowing all over the place. You've got more. If that's not enough turbines for you, they're going to give you more to look at on that hill there.
Yes.
That's such an intrusion, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. It's heartbreaking.
Mm.
It really is.
So what did you think when you first found out and when you first saw these pictures in the statement, in the report, whatever it is, from the Winterborn people? What did you think about that?
It actually made me feel ill.
Mm.
It really did. It was horrible. It was heartbreaking. It was, you know, what happens now to our place, what happens to our life, you know, everything. And also, you know, travelling, every time you travel to town, it was bringing tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's not only here, it's all the way to town.
Now, how many, as far as you can tell, how many are you going to be able to see from your property around here?
I think there's about 22 from here.
22?
Yeah, and I think if you go to the top of the hill, there's about 60 we can see.
And so that's out of the total 119 they've got planned.
Yep.
And they've just got seems to me, no basic respect for people's lives, right? Do you get any compensation for that, by the way?
If we signed a neighbourhood agreement, yes.
And what does that involve?
Well, it restricts you from commenting on anything.
Well, they basically buy your silence.
Yeah, yeah. Shut up agreement.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they'll give you a bit of money for that.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. And really the money was not really a lot. It's 100,000 over 10 years or something.
I know you probably don't want to sell here, but who would? It's a lovely spot.
Yeah.
But it's going to affect land prices around here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, nobody comes all the way up here to look at windmills.
No, absolutely not. That's what I said in one of our submissions, is about how it's going to affect the tourism of Walcha. Mm. And people aren't going to come here to look at wind turbines.
Before all this happened, what did you think? Did you think wind turbines were a good thing?
Oh, I didn't really have a major opinion on them, to be honest. We'd been down to Taralga and had a few nights there, and you could see the turbines in the distance there. And when you're driving up the highway, you know, I guess they were fairly unsightly. But I hadn't really had any much thought about it.
If you go to, say, the eastern suburbs of Sydney, which is teal territory, right? It's full of people who say, oh, we've got to do more about climate change. I don't think they've got any idea what doing what we're doing is going to mean, because it doesn't touch them, of course.
No, of course not.
They get that warm and fuzzy feeling, and you get...
Yeah, and we get the tragedy.
How's it changed your life since you've... Well, first of all, when did you find out this was going to happen?
Probably about maybe 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. We know, obviously, the neighbours, and, you know, there was talk amongst all that it was happening, and it was sort of like, there's no way that can happen. It's just like, it's not going to happen.
No.
Because it's just so ridiculous. It's incredible.
Not here, and you're on the edge of a national park, on the edge of a World Heritage Gorge area. Just, I think, is it over that hill?
It surrounds us.
Yeah.
Totally surrounds us. And the nearest point would be about 3 kilometres away.
Yeah.
That by road.
And what they've done is they've built this. They've designated this renewable energy zone, and it goes right up to the World Heritage area. Nothing in between.
No.
No.
It's hard to believe, isn't
Well,
it?
it's hard to think they'll get away with it, but they might.
Not. I really hope not.
Do you feel you have much say in this?
Not really. No. You know, you get the odd phone call from the companies involved. We obviously allowed to put a submission into that. Haven't heard any responses whatsoever. I mean, how much control do we have over it? Really?
Well, none. You can make your complaints known, as you have. And
Yep.
tell me about the wildlife, because you've got I think it's a shiny black cockatoo
Yes.
around here, which is quite a rare.
Yes.
I think it's on the endangered list.
Yes. Yes.
And you see them here.
Yes, we do. Yep. Also around the paddocks than at the house. The wedge-tailed eagle.
And the wedge-tailed eagle. Yeah.
We see a lot. They only had 4 flying over the other day. You see them very regularly.
And we know what happens to wedge-tailed eagles if they go into one of these
Yep. Yep.
80-metre long blades hits them at some speed.
That's it.
It's an unequal contest.
It is. It is very much so. Yes, we've heard a lot of sad stories about that actually, and how they hide it.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the community meeting tonight, I hope.
Yes, it's going to be a tough, haul ahead if they do come.